Okay, everybody, let's welcome the captain of Legion 13, Mr. John Rahm, and the captain of Range Goats GC, Bubba Watson. John, I'm going to start with you. You fired off a 7-under. You're currently sitting at T2. We had Bryson in here earlier. He stopped the press conference so he could watch you putt, and he said, wow, John is just playing so incredible. That guy is just unbelievable. What are your comments on that?
Thank you. Likewise to Bryson, because clearly he's had a few good weeks and continues today. And yeah, he's right. I've been fairly comfortable the last few weeks playing really good golf, and I'm glad today was one of those days where I finally started the tournament in a little bit of with a better round, and what a better way to start it at 3 birdies in a row. I kind of just set the tone and felt really comfortable on the greens all day, and I mean, couldn't really have asked for a much better score.
Bubba, you're currently sitting at 4th place. You shot 5 under. You had an incredible run at Augusta. You're playing great right now. What's going on with your game? What's this fire you got underneath you?
Good. That's the key. I think I was #1 in putting at the Masters, strokes gained putting. And so I had a couple wayward shots, 4 swings that I could think about at the Masters. And today, a couple loose swings, but the ball kind of does different in elevation here. But I putted really well today. So that's the key, is just keep putting well.
You guys are both long hitters. Tell us how you guys are dealing with the elevation here and ball control and distance.
I think both of us have played the WGC here before, so to an extent we knew what to expect, right? I think it was a little tougher a few years ago because with the tee times, if you teed off early, there was a difference as to teeing off later on, so you had to adjust to that. Now teeing off in the afternoon, I think everybody just goes with the base percentage. Off the tee, for the most part, you have to just place it on the right spot in the fairway. There's a couple of holes where luckily if you have the distance, you can be aggressive. Second hole being one of them where if you have the distance, get into the green. I mean, or at least going for that green makes it a lot easier because the layup isn't easy. The wedge shot is never easy, right? So for the most part, length isn't an issue off the tee. So if you're comfortable with the driver, it's great. And if not, you can still lay it back a little bit and still have a good chance of scoring well on the hole. So it gives you options. It's a really fun golf course.
Bubba, how are you managing distance control out there?
For me, it's more the curving the golf ball. The ball doesn't curve as much. And so it's just
that is an issue for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a big issue for me. It's an issue for me for sure because my sight lines. But so I want to aim it right. So I've had to aim it a little bit more to the center of the fairway. And like you said, I've played here 4 times leading into this week. So this is my 5th time here. So I kind of know what to expect around here. The greens are starting to firm up, so the golf course is going to get a little firmer over the weekend. And you know, you just kind of get used to elevation and you see the numbers on the range, and then you just kind of get used to it as you play. So you kind of get used to the elevation and how far the ball is actually going.
The Mexican fans are so hospitable. It looks like so much fun out there. Can you guys just talk a little bit about the fan experience? We'll start with you, Bubba.
Yeah, it's been great. I've seen some Range Goats hats out there, and I had a bunch of kids when I got done. Got to sign some stuff for them, and yeah, it's great. It's always great when they're here and they're pulling for you. And anytime they're yelling your name, you know, you're doing something right. And so it's been fun, and it's always been exciting around here. They love their sports. And so I'm glad they come out to watch us play golf and watch some of these guys hit it pretty far.
John, do they treat you like an honorary Mexican out here?
Yeah. As a Mexican Open champion, they let me know. I do feel like I'm one more. Even though playing with Carlos, I'm not quite on the same level, obviously, but the crowd was heavily for me as well. It's a lot of fun to play in front of fans like this. I would say anytime where European football is a main sport in that country, the fans almost treat golf as if they're watching that. At least when I'm in the group, mainly because they're used to and they're comfortable saying it in Spanish, and it's a bit more exciting just because where you might make a 6-footer that in other places just get, you know, like a little bit of a lazy clap. You'll get 3 or 4 guys that think you just scored a goal, and it's absolutely incredible. So it's a lot of fun to be a part of. Even when we're here right next to the 18th hole, getting ready for my putt, as if it would be in a stadium. There's people yelling, right? Like if it was a corner shot or a penalty, they're just actually cheering for me. Is something you're not used to, but it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
So I'm going to open it up to questions in English first for Bubba before we let him go. Any questions in English for Bubba?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Hi, Bubba. This is Isaac from Two Time Clever. what's better, chasing the lead or being under pressure or getting ahead? So what's your thoughts on maybe chasing those steps behind?
I'd rather be leading because then I don't have to make as many birdies to stay in the lead. You know, it just depends. You know, a golf course like this, it might be better to chase, but I'd rather be leading. I mean, I think any golfer wants to be leading because you can make a mistake and still be leading.
Anything else in English before one more in English?
Hi, Bubba. How can you describe the energy of the crowd today here in Chapultepec, and how do you feel the field, the holes? What was the most difficult part for you here in the Club de Golf?
You know, the difficult part is just seeing my sight lines and trying to get the ball to go where I want it to. But the fans here have been great. It's been amazing. It's always been amazing around here. Like John was saying, the energy. When you hit a good shot, they're cheering for you. They're pulling for you. They're always telling you, let's go, keep going. And it's always fun. And, you know, they're supportive. Even if you make a bogey, they're still supportive, going, get them next hole. And so it's always a blast. And seeing all the young kids out here this week, it's great. That means the game is good here in Mexico. And hopefully these kids will be here. We'll be cheering them one later on, you know, a few years from now.
Bubba, thank you so much. We'll let you go and we'll switch to Spanish.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I'll stay there.
Ok, vamos ahora a preguntas en español a Abraham.
John, Bryson acaba de decir que el campo es accesible, pero también es diabólico. ¿Qué es lo más diabólico que tiene este campo?
Yo creo que depende de cada hoyo, ¿no? En sí es una combinación entre acostumbrarse un poco a la altura, ¿no? Porque hay momentos que aún se puede fallar, pero mayormente los greens. Hay tantas ondulaciones, tantos huecos pequeños donde pueden poner la bandera que hace que sea muy complicado, ¿no? Un gran ejemplo, la del hoyo 10. Es una bandera muy difícil de dejarla cerca, en la que incluso desde 70 yardas, si tienes 20 pies, es un golpe bastante bueno, ¿no? Que eso normalmente sería algo muy malo. Yo considero que si son agresivos con las banderas y las ponen en zonas complicadas, haces que este campo y el score sea mucho más difícil. ¿Qué, perdón? Es complicado compararlo. Simplemente es muy complicado. A ver, en general tienes que pensar en campos que sean estrechos y no tengan mucha distancia, ¿no? A ver, digamos que igual la tarjeta dice que tiene larga distancia, pero se juega corto. Campo tradicional, yo diría, es diferente, porque este campo que voy a decir es muy, muy plano, pero Hilton Head, ¿no? Que no se pegan drivers, que hay que ponerla en el fairway, pero en la zona adecuada, y hay que saber cuándo ser agresivo y cuándo no, con greens pequeños, ¿no? No tan exacto, pero parecido. Es un campo en el que te da muchas opciones y simplemente hay que saber cuándo puede ser agresivo y cuándo no.
Por acá, John, ¿qué tal? Fernando Villa de ESPN. Saliéndonos tal vez un poquito de la ronda, yo quiero preguntarte cómo fue para ti jugar con Josh Allen y qué pudiste aprender sobre todo del MVP de la NFL, o sea, la mentalidad. ¿Cómo describirías a Josh y cómo fue ese feel para ti? ¿Cuál es la mentalidad que tiene Josh Allen?
A ver, es complicado explicar o decir nada porque estábamos jugando a golf, no a fútbol, ¿no? Así que él está en un ambiente que no conoce, nervioso y, bueno, pues pidiéndome consejo en ese sentido, ¿no? Y qué hace en el campo de golf, pero es un gran atleta y un gran jugador de golf y si has visto los vídeos lo hace muy, muy bien, ¿no? Obviamente igual hay golpes más fáciles y más difíciles, pero lo que noto con muchos atletas de élite que aún están en la élite o han estado en la élite en diferentes deportes es que digamos que tiene una fortaleza mental que lo que hace que el golf sea complicado en ciertos momentos, como ves en el vídeo, los putts de 10 pies o menos los mete casi todos. Y eso lo he visto con muchos atletas. Son increíbles en momentos delicados y de presión. Y bueno, yo creo que es algo que se transfiere, ¿no? Entre deportes. Está tan acostumbrado a tener tanta presión en su deporte en cada jugada que hay momentos como esos que para él son fáciles, ¿no? Igual partes del juego que es más dedicarle horas de trabajo para mejorar, pero la parte mental la tiene. Y luego como persona es increíble, muy divertido, muy calmado. Te puedes creer que nos conocimos 2 horas antes de jugar. No lo había conocido nunca. Lo único que sabía es teníamos un grupo de mensajes con Phil, con Grant y con él, y lo único que sabía de él es a través de esos mensajes. En persona no lo había visto nunca.
Tenemos 2 últimas preguntas. Adelante.
Acá. John, ¿qué esperas de ti al terminar los 14 eventos de la temporada, de la gira?
Llevamos 6 ya, ¿verdad? Nos quedan 8. Si es posible, repetir como el año pasado y ganarlo todo. Y a ver si es posible ganar un par de veces o más. No estoy jugando bien, me estoy dando oportunidades, así que a ver si puedo conseguir un par de victorias y individualmente conseguir la victoria también. Pero considero que tenemos un gran equipo. No he visto mucho, pero creo que uno de ellos hoy no ha jugado muy bien, pero es un gran talento y tenemos muy buenas opciones de poder ganar ese título final. Así que un poco todo.
Última pregunta.
Hola John, buena tarde. Por acá Alberto Campos de Grupo Fórmula. Preguntarte qué representa para ti venir a México, donde ya hace algunos años ganaste. ¿Qué representa para ti también el apoyo de la afición mexicana?
Lo hemos dicho en inglés, pero soy casi como un adoptado esta semana, ¿no? Se me trata casi como si fuese mexicano. Obviamente jugando con Carlos no tanto, porque siendo el local, pero siempre se me ha tratado muy bien, siempre se me ha querido mucho en México y es una de las grandes razones por la que sigo volviendo. Ya sea el LIV, ya sea Campeonato del Mundo, o ya sea Mayaková cuando era el PGA Tour o en Vidante el Open de México, ¿no? Siempre ha sido muy divertido para mí y la experiencia siempre es muy muy buena y por eso sigo viniendo y ojalá vengamos aquí durante muchos años porque la afición mexicana para mí es especial, se nos trata muy bien y es muy divertida y bueno, a ver si sigo jugando bien y a ver si consigo ganar otra vez.
Muchas gracias, John. Gracias a todos.
Gracias.